blonde girl this year. And that's probably right up there. And things are going really well with us. I've yet to be arrested in my own apartment for trespassing. And her family has finally accepted me as hopefully just a phase she's going through. It's good. And I like that we respect each other's differences. Like, she doesn't ask why I like Obama. I don't ask her why macaroni and cheese is considered a full meal. So anyways, yeah, we respect each other's differences and we don't really bring them up that much. And obviously there's that social disconnect, which I don't mind. That is until this weekend that we had a conversation, and she's gonna hate me for bringing this up. But we were talking about past relationships, and she just casually mentions that she dated a lord in Sweden. Yes, a lord in Sweden. And not only had she dated him, but he proposed to her and she rejected him. Now, as I am sitting there eating my freshly microwaved leftover pizza, I'm wondering, I gotta know a little bit more about this. So apparently, his family owns a company that makes parts for yachts. Also owns chateaus in France, and apparently he also has a ring with his family's crest on it that he uses to stamp envelopes. I have a ring for 50 cents that changes colors when I get angry. Now, I'm like, okay, this guy has to be an ugly crypt keeper looking motherfucker or something like that. So she shows me a picture of him, and I would marry this guy. And it's like Orlando Bloom's face on Brad Pitt's body. I am more than willing to be a trophy wife for a fucking yacht. I would cook, clean, and make sweet sensual love to this man for a chateau in France. And so, I'm like, okay, this guy has to have that one attribute that's his weakness or something in another. And like some of the time he has one ball or he has schizophrenia or something. So she's like, oh, well, he has bad teeth, which in Europe is like saying you have hair. And then she's like, oh, well, he doesn't want to wear deodorant. Which, I mean, if you bathe in a swimming pool full of gold Scrooge McDuck style, I don't think anybody cares, honestly. So now I'm trying to figure out, okay, why did she leave the closest adaptation of Prince Charming anybody's gonna find? And she explains, well, he just wasn't the right guy, and money isn't everything, and she wanted someone more down to earth, which I can totally respect if he wasn't royalty. Like, so by down to earth, you mean a guy with 2 first names, lives in a mobile home, like he's a week away from the black lung, that's marriage material for you? Like, I see plenty of down-to-earth guys in the morning sifting through the dumpster looking for aluminum cans. If you want down-to-earth, you are in a perfect place right now, because there are a boatload of guys in this bar who want to make a living by screaming fuck into a microphone and have been eating SpaghettiOs for dinner for the last week.
Yeah!
So, moving on, I went to my first wheelchair basketball game not too recently, and well, the rest were complete shit. Not a single call for traveling the entire game. I assume 2 full real rotations without dribbling counts for something. It's a lot like the WNBA, it's just that boring. Except when I get up and scream someone dunk, I get nothing but death stares from everybody. Oh boy. So, but it's actually becoming a really popular sport now. So I assume there's like a Harlem Globetrotters team out there that they're just like can do wheelies and would Tokyo drift around defenders on a layup or something like that. Before you stoned me, I thought about what it would be like to be in a wheelchair, and it seemed awful. But being the optimist that I am, I obviously looked on the brighter side of things. Like if I was in a wheelchair, I would put a cattle catcher on the front of that thing. I always hate being in crowds, and you just rev up a few RPMs, I can plow my way straight through right there. If I wanted to make some money, I go to Six Flags during the summer and charge people a couple bucks to pretend to be my friends so they can cut the line. Then, if I really wanted to do something for shits and giggles, I go to the bathroom, wait for someone to go to the handicap stall, go up behind them like, oh, come on! First the parking space and now this. And just start banging my wheel into the door until they opened up. I'm going to hell for saying it. You're coming with me for laughing, all right? All right. So anyways, I found out about something going on this summer, and I just had to talk about it. The Senior Olympics that took place in Springfield, and anything with a par for 3 deaths per event obviously attracts my attention. I had to check that out. So I watched a few YouTube videos, and I was gravely disappointed. It's nowhere near the competition of the real Olympics, all right? Honestly, how is Gladys expected to really realistically compete in a high jump against Zelda's 9-inch vertical, okay? And then Leroy gets to take his oxygen tank with him during a 100-meter breaststroke. That's not even fair. So, oh boy. So I think there should be like an incentive, the incentive system in place so they would try harder, so maybe their kids would actually come and see them during this event or visit them while they're at the home or whatever. I think first place should get to eat something other than baby food for the night, and last place gets euthanized. I know it's the same incentive program I have to make dog shows better, but just go with it. That said, I actually hate cats. I'm a cat hater by nature. I just don't trust them at all. I think if you're poor and you have cats, there's like a distinct scent about you that says I have more cats in my house than light bulbs. Like, Mr. Gibbles knows the moment that you dip below the poverty line. He's just like, well, this place gone to shit. Better start teabagging everything in sight. And there are only two types of cats. There are ones that lurk around you, just like ninjas, and there are the ones that plop right down your lap and try to get their pore stink into your clothes. And I think every man's been there when he's at his girlfriend's place, and she leaves, and then it's just you and the cat there. And like every time you look at the cat, he always stops like this. Like, I'm not supposed to notice you lurking in the shadows around me. So you two start sizing each other up. And, you start cracking your knuckles, and he starts licking himself. And you start thinking in your mind, like, you know what? Later on, when we're watching that movie, halfway through where I have to get up to use the bathroom, I might accidentally step on you on the way there. Little do you know, he's thinking the exact same thing. It's like, later on, when you try to make a move on her, and try to put your arm around her, I might be behind that couch and accidentally claw the shit out of your hand. Then I'm gonna jump in her lap and cock block you the rest of the night. And I hate it when the cat people try to make an excuse like, oh, dogs are just stupid and lazy, and you actually have to earn a cat's love. I'm sorry, I do not owe anything. I do not owe anything to a creature that I provide food to and shelter and licks its own asshole all day long. So here's an oldie but a goodie. It's sad to think that I had more game when I was in preschool than I do now. I had 2 girlfriends when I was 4 years old. Yeah, I like to keep my pimp hand strong. I had Natalia, who was like my steady girl, who was like the girl, who was like, I guess, the 4-year-old equivalent of a wife. I could come home to after a hard day at the jungle gym, and she had a fresh batch of easy bake oven cookies ready for me. But then you also had Melissa. Now, other girls did not like Melissa, because Melissa had a reputation. See, Melissa, for one, wore pigtails. Yeah. And Melissa was the reason half the boys in your class had cooties. So I heard. That's a rumor. And every time you told Natalia you were going out with the boys to go coloring, you were sleeping next to Melissa during nap time. So, anyway, she started getting suspicious when I started doing stuff with Natalia that I normally do with Melissa. Like, we'd hold hands, and I started doing the thumb rub thing. Yeah, Melissa taught me that one. And then, at one point, I kissed Melissa on the cheek, and she kissed me back, which was like a 4-year-old equivalent of getting a blowjob. And then Natalia found out, and shit got real. She came up during coloring time and just put a note underneath me and said, John, Jay was all backwards and shit. What happened to us? We were, what happened? We were in love. And so me being the 4-year-old pimp that I was, I had to handle this. I said, hold on, bitch. I'm 4 fucking years old. I know how the world works. I only need 3 things in life. My juice box, my nap time, and my Thundercats. I'll run along. That is a true story, everyone. How are we doing on time? Good? Alright, yeah. Alright, well, I'll keep going then. That's fine. Here's a personal favorite of mine. I always like inviting white people over to my house during Christmas time, because my mom likes to put up black Santa Claus figurines, and they always seem to have a hard time of wrapping their mind around a black Santa Claus. Like, I thought about too, like you had to change around some of the traditions. Like, okay, instead of putting on a plate of milk and cookies, it's a plate of ribs and Kool-Aid. And if you're bad, instead of getting a lump of coal in your stocking, you get a note that says, cut me a switch. So I think what would be really traumatizing is having like a black mall Santa Claus. And, Cause black mall Santa Claus doesn't take any shit from anybody. Like, I just imagine the first fat kid that comes up to him and tries to sit on his lap like, you ain't seen no Santa Claus yet? You can see enough Santa Claus, you can't sit on my lap. Which one for Christmas? Which one? iPad. Tell you what iPad for. iPad? I'm gonna watch your ass. I see what your nasty ass do in the bathroom. Let me get that. Alright, you need to hurry this shit along. Santa Claus gotta get his meatballs in. Alright, everyone, that's my time for tonight. Thank you all for being a great crowd.